Hello, Dr. Charlene Lawrence here. I am the founder of the Hypnopuncture Method, and I want to teach you a couple of things that I go really deep in with my hypnopuncture workshops and even my master's course that I offer for all of you lovely acupuncturists out there. And so we're going to go into a little bit about how brain waves work and basically how hypnosis works with our patients and their brain waves and in their subconscious. So I'm going to draw a little bit of a wave, and I literally do this for patients when I'm explaining the hypnopuncture process. So I explain to them that we have basically this wave of our level of brain waves throughout the day, and this happens all day, every day. So here we have our delta brain waves, and this is sleep. So we're in delta while we're sleeping, and these are an amplitude of about 0 to 4 hertz. So anywhere in this window is our deep sleep, our delta brain waves. And then we move a little bit higher amplitude into theta, and this is actually hypnosis or trance. And this amplitude is 4 to 8 hertz. And so we actually pass through this at least twice a day as we're waking up, as we're going back to bed. I'll explain that again in a moment. And then we have our alpha brain waves. And this is often where people get into meditation. And this is 8 to 12 hertz. And then I'm trying to make my Z's different than my do's. And then we have beta, which is where we spend most of our waking time, the beta brain waves. And so this is consciousness, conscious thought. And this is where we both are right now. You're learning something, listening, paying attention. I'm teaching something, so I'm recalling information. And so our beta brain waves go anywhere from 12 to 30 hertz. And there's actually multiple levels of beta, but we get into that. Like I said, we go really deep on this stuff in all of my courses that I teach. So for now, we just need to know that the beta brainwave state is 12 to 30 hertz. And then at the top, we have our gamma brain waves. And this is thought of differently by different people. And so I like to think of this as kind of that divine connection. Those times where your intuition is just on it, like you know something, but you don't know how you know. And this is that gamma brainwave state. And this is really anything over 30 hertz. And so if you know anything about Dr. Joe Dispenza, he spends a lot of time training his students on this gamma state. And so, you know, gamma is really high. Not everybody goes into this state every day or maybe even ever in their life. So we're going to kind of leave this off and let Dr. Joe Dispenza do what he does and teach people this realm. But what we do have is everybody hangs out somewhere in this spectrum from 0 to 30 hertz all day, every day. So we go from sleep and then we pass through this theta brainwave space where we're in hypnosis till we're in our full waking consciousness. And then as we fall asleep, the same thing happens where we go back through this progression on the amplitude of the wave to get into deep sleep. So when people think that they're not hypnotizable, that's actually impossible because it is a natural state that we go in and out of at least twice a day, where we're waking up through the hypnotic state, we're falling asleep through the hypnotic state. And all hypnosis is a highly suggestible state where you are very open to suggestions, and that could be a positive suggestion or a negative suggestion. And I do recommend that people stay away from negative influences. Maybe that's news or social media or anything that's going to give you negative feedback or negative information during this natural theta hypnosis time. And so that's the first 30 minutes after waking, or the last 30 minutes before falling asleep is when we naturally get into this space here. So this is actually something that I just cover with all of my hypnopuncture patients to explain to them how hypnosis is a natural state, how it's safe. We have all experienced it in our lives, and then to give them some suggestions on how to utilize it. I hope you are enjoying this material and that this was helpful. Again, I am Dr. Lawrence, Dr. Charlene Lawrence, and as always, be well.